Hello, great people. Controversial Islamic scholar Sheikh Gumi was arrested in Saudi Arabia. He was denied entry into Medina, stopped from performing the 2025 Hajj pilgrimage, and he was summarily deported back to Nigeria. What does this mean for a scholar, an Islamic scholar, to be denied entry into the holy land of Saudi Arabia to perform the Hajj pilgrimage? Some people have been asking that, why is Sheikh Gumi deported? Well, I got it covered for you on this video, and I must tell you that this video is an important one because it is taking us on a journey through 6 nations. This video, for you to explain, for you to understand the circumstance behind Sheikh Gumi's arrest and the travels that he's going through at the moment, I need to take you around 6 countries, which is number 1, Saudi Arabia; number 2, the United States; number 3, Israel; number 4, Palestine; number 5 is the United Arab Emirates; and number 6, Nigeria. So we have a lot to cover on this episode, and I must give you a word of caution, which is that if you miss any part of this video, definitely you won't understand what I'm saying, because I will be dissecting the issues, I will be solving the puzzle and connecting the dot first. And I also have a video to play for you as well as regards the person of Sheikh Gumi. But I think the good place to start is, who is Sheikh Gumi? For some of you that are not familiar with him, Sheikh Gumi is a controversial Islamic scholar. In fact, it is safe to call him the sympathizers of bandits and terrorists. Sheikh Gumi is the sympathizers of bandits and terrorists. You know, there are some individuals, you may have them as friends or family or in your relative, whereby if everybody is thinking left, they will be thinking right. If everybody is thinking right, you just see that this person's thinking is strange. This person's thinking is absurd. That is who Sheikh Gumi is. Sheikh Gumi is fond of justifying the actions of bandits, is fond of justifying the actions of terrorists, and he seems to have unfettered access to the dreaded enclave of these guys, and is not shy about it. Anytime he has the opportunity to speak on air, definitely he will kind of like give his position, which are largely anti-people, which are largely even anti-government itself. For me not to take you on a long journey, let me play you a video of Sheikh Okinbaloye's interview with Sheikh Gumi and try and study Sheikh Gumi's reaction, how he answered the question, and I look forward to your impression in the comment section. Let's go and watch the video, then we'll come back for some great discussion. Don't forget, we are still going on a journey to 6 countries. Let's watch this video first. Let's watch it.
And you see, even we call them killer headsmen. How many people did they kill? They only kill, sometimes some of them are on drugs. Some of them are on drugs. So that killing is not killing they want the money. So they're ready and they're comfortable. They can keep somebody as long as they are, because they are in the bush, really in the bush. Getting there is very remote. They can keep somebody, so they don't have, when they kill, it must be accidental. Maybe somebody they took who is sick. But tell me, who they have killed? How many? Few.
They've killed people.
No, they don't kill. If they kill, in the box, they will kill people there. They want money from the people.
There you have it. You just watch the video of Sheikh Gumi, and I believe that you have made an impression as regards how Sheikh Gumi responded to the question of Channels TV's Sheikh Okinbaloye. Now, these are some of the reasons that Sheikh Gumi was denied entry into Medina, thus barring him from participating in the 2025 Hajj pilgrimage. But then there is an international dimension to that, which we will go to right now, which is that, you see, Saudi Arabia as a country has its policies, and Saudi Arabia has tried, despite being the headquarter of Islam, Saudi Arabia has tried to maintain a perfect relationship with different countries in the world, including the United States. And you could see that Sheikh Gumi have been expressing views that are at variance with the policies of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Sheikh Gumi have been making utterances that are against the interest of Saudi Arabia, and utterances that can put Saudi Arabia in trouble. And I'll give you an example, which is that now Sheikh Gumi have abused Saudi Arabia, that Saudi Arabia should have engaged Israel, even if it requires it to do so in an aggressive manner, as regards the Israel-Palestine conflict, that Saudi Arabia should have supported Palestine with all it has, just as the Western nations are supporting Ukraine when Russia invaded Ukraine. So Sheikh Gumi apologists believe that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia should give unfettered and wholehearted support to Palestine, even if it means funding Palestine against Israel. And Saudi Arabia is being careful in this regard. So Sheikh Gumi is displeased with the action of Saudi Arabia. He feels that Saudi Arabia is passive. He feels that Saudi Arabia is not supportive enough. And Sheikh Gumi has also been making some statement about Saudi Arabia, that Saudi Arabia is hobnobbing with the United States, that the United States take actions that are anti-Islam, that the US is supporting Israel, and Israel is unleashing some arm on Palestine, and Saudi Arabia is now hobnobbing with the United States. So you can see the connection, you can see the international dynamics to it. So the position of Sheikh Gumi, all the statement that he has been making, doesn't sit well with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So that was what landed him in trouble with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And when he was at the entry point in Medina, the government of Saudi Arabia summarily decided to deport him because he has been speaking against the kingdom. He has been criticizing the international relation, the diplomacy, and the policies of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and also for his local extreme views in Nigeria. Saudi Arabia detests extremism in the name of Islam. Saudi Arabia is the headquarters of Islam, but they detest some of these extreme views that people propagate. So the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia doesn't like extremism, and there are a lot of other issues, which is that the Nigerian Hajj Commission was the one that sponsored Sheikh Gumi. Nigerian Hajj Commission was the one that sponsored the trip of Sheikh Gumi and other Islamic scholars. So you want to ask yourself that Nigeria is sponsoring the trip of a controversial figure like Sheikh Gumi. So is it that there are people that are not controversial, and at the end of the day, Nigeria is using taxpayers' money to sponsor people that are controversial, that are expressing extreme views, and at the end of the day, you will complain of terrorism, you will complain of banditry. The question is, who are you deceiving as a country? Let's be realistic with ourselves. You are funding this guy rather than for you to be reining him in, to kind of like, or work with him to make sure that you bring this bandit and terrorist to book. You are using the taxpayers' money through the National Hajj Commission to sponsor Sheikh Gumi on a trip to Saudi Arabia. So you can see, the thinking of the people in the government. You can see the way they reason. You can see the way they waste taxpayers' money, and you can see what is coming out of it. And take kudos to Saudi Arabia for taking strong stance against the actions of Sheikh Gumi. And this is not the first time that a country is moving against extreme views. You will recall that the United Arab Emirates took a strong stance against perceived terrorists in Nigeria, and they prosecuted them. They gave Nigerian government all the information of the sponsors and financiers of terrorism. But guess what? The Nigerian government has taken little or no action in that regard. So you can see the way Nigerian government is complicit in some of these things. And it is only in Nigeria that somebody will be expressing extreme views, and that person will be walking free, and that person will even be sponsored by the government to the holy land of Mecca and Medina. So you can see what is happening. So for me, I think that the Nigerian government has to get its priorities right, because you cannot use taxpayers' money to be sponsoring these people. And sincerely, let us be sincere with ourselves. You cannot be more Muslim than those in Saudi Arabia, the owners of the religion. Let us be sincere. You cannot be more Islamic than people in Saudi Arabia. But Nigerians try to be more Islamic than even the people in Saudi Arabia, and that leaves much to be the desire. So government needs to look into this. And kudos to Saudi Arabia for detesting extremism in the name of Islam. Kudos to Saudi Arabia for standing tall. Kudos to Saudi Arabia for kind of like shining the light on what Islam truly is, or what Islam truly should be. So if you want to kind of like misinterpret Islam, or you want to give a kind of your own interpretation that doesn't suit what Islam is, definitely the government of Saudi Arabia would come for you. And kudos to Saudi Arabia for doing this, so that people that express extreme views will not be finding their way into the country. So I give it to Saudi Arabia in this regard. And for me, I think that Sheikh Gumi should learn his lessons and he should try and be upright going forward. And I must add that he should also try and be pro-masses. And Nigerian government should stop using taxpayers' money to fund this trip. If they have not deported Sheikh Gumi, people will not know that it was Nigerian government that sponsored the trip. So imagine people that are contributing their best to the development of Nigeria as a country, they have not received any benefit, they have not been sponsored. But people that are sympathizers to bandits and terrorists, they are using taxpayers' money to sponsor them on a trip to Saudi Arabia. You can imagine that. I just hope that Nigerian government will get its priorities right and go all out to send all these bandits and terrorists to their creator. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode of Politics with Dr. Moshola Deji. Subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past videos. See you in my next video. I love you all sincerely.